Okay. Okay. I did my book review on The Last Child in the Woods. It's by Richard Louv. There's a photo of the front. Okay, so a quick summary about the book. It is on basically a term that he described as nature deficit disorder and also the boogeyman syndrome. And essentially the main theme throughout the book, I chose this quote here by Paul, a fourth grader in San Diego. He said, "I like to play indoors better because that's where all the electrical outlets are." And so the main theme of this book, where he got the term nature deficit disorder, is that children are preferring to be inside more than outside. And essentially, they're not allowed to go outside, or they don't want to, due to all the technology that is that we have nowadays. And it also relates to the boogeyman syndrome, which is parents are concerned and have fear of letting their kids out of their sight. It's easier for them to plop their kid down with an iPad in the living room so they know exactly where they're at and what they're doing, than letting them run rampant through the fields. Also, this book had some really awesome research about ADHD, anxiety, depression, and childhood obesity, which I'll talk more about in the things that I've learned, because it was kind of shocking about how possibly nature can lessen those effects in our society. And overall, the book is basically about getting outside young, because it's crucial to the development of a child. Okay, so the 3 important things that I learned. So the first one is the freedom, fantasy, and privacy. Through this book, I took a look at my own personal experience in being outside. I grew up in Montana, so I was constantly outdoors, building forts, playing in rivers, things like that. And I think it actually honestly shaped who I am today and made me more comfortable and confident in being outside my comfort zone. And I think a lot of kids are liking that nowadays. A lot of kids are antisocial and, typically make friends through the internet. It's easier to talk to someone online than it is in person. And I think what really summed this up to me was a 5th grader Lou was talking to, and he said that she was a prodigy because she said that it's so peaceful out there and the air smells so good. I mean, it's polluted, but not as much as the city air. And sometimes I go there when I'm mad, then I am better because of the peacefulness. And I think, honestly, a lot of people struggle with their emotions in society today. They don't know how to outlet them. And when they do, it's typically online and social media and not in constructive ways. And so outside nature gives you that chance to let your emotions out constructively. And yeah, so that was really interesting to see, and something definitely that I realized when raising my kid, I definitely will encourage them to be outside and enjoy being outdoors and get outside with them. The second thing that I learned was that the responsibility that society puts on kids. So what was really shocking to me was Lou had asked a classroom of 4th graders if they were worried about getting a good job or getting into a good college. And more than half of them raised their hand saying that they are concerned about that. And I mean, these are 4th graders who are concerned about college that is so far down the line. They have barely been in school and they're already concerned about what kind of job they're in, or what kind of job they're going to get and what kind of college they're going to get into. And it's because society has made it that school is more important than play. And when are they ever going to have time to be creative or go outside and let them be themselves? And even when they do get that chance, so they sit in a desk 7 hours a day, and then when they do go to their extracurricular activities, it's still so structured. So, I mean, they don't really have a time to create their own individuality and creativity through these outlets. They just are told what to do, what tasks to complete, and start on the long road of what society wants them to be put on. So that was really interesting to me. Another thing that was super interesting throughout this book was basically what society has done with this. So he talked about ADHD, anxiety, depression, and childhood obesity, and why that there has been such a rapid increase. Between 2000 and 2003, the diagnosis for ADHD increased 369%. And both boys and girls who were diagnosed with ADHD, approximately 90% of them were placed on medication, often through the suggestion of the school. And to me, that is insane because he said in his book that, typically you start, like, the disorder often develops at age 7, and then it is usually diagnosed between ages 8 and 10. And ADHD consists of like symptoms of restlessness, trouble paying attention, listening, following directions, focusing on tasks. They're antisocial, sometimes aggressive, and can lead to failures in school. And that is insane to think that a 7-year-old is expected to sit 7 hours a day in a classroom and then go home and jump on a tablet. They have all this pent up energy. And then on top of that, the anxiety at 7 years old, like in 4th grade, of getting into a good school or getting a good job, things like that. And it's just a continuous cycle as well, because it's not like these children, after they sit 7 hours a day, get to just like run outside and play and interact and be social. Their parents also contribute to this because their parents work all day as well. They're tired, so all they want to do is eat, sit down, and also indulge in, their social media. And it just creates a continuous cycle of very antisocial behavior, and in turn, having such young kids have ADHD, anxiety, depression, and childhood obesity, and being put on medication at such a young age, I think is ridiculous. When there is a simple solution, just going outside. There have been studies proven that going outside can really help reduce a lot of anxiety, depression, and ADHD and childhood obesity because they're outside running and playing. My critique is my pros. I thought this was a wonderful book. I would totally recommend this book to anyone. It had a lot of great investigative journaling and research. One con I had is it failed to acknowledge kind of the opposing side of how technology can be used constructively. But other than that, I think he did a really good job of getting his point across that everyone needs more nature. So other than that, it was a great book. And that's all. Thank you.